Hello everyone and welcome in. Today is Friday, April 12th, and we'll be taking a look at what all energies want to come through for you from the divine, from God, spirit, for the collective, as well as for the individual sign groupings. So later this weekend, I will be posting the reads for the second half of April, and that'll be sign grouping by sign grouping. And when I do each grouping, I'll also be pulling individual cards for each zodiac sign within that group. So make sure to hit the subscribe and notification bell so that you can be alerted when those videos post. And later I will also be doing a twin flame reading and then maybe another special reading for the weekend update as well. So make sure to check those out. All right. Well, let's jump in and see what wants to come through for the collective. The card that jumped was the Death card. So I'll hold that up in just a second here. And then we also have Four of Pentacles in reverse comes back, a Knight of Swords, and one more shuffle because I feel like those were sticking and coming out. And then we have Six of Pentacles. So the one that popped out was the Death card. Gotta love the salmonella there. So we have the Death card. That is about certain cycles ending and things changing in your life. We have our Four of Pentacles in reverse. So if you've watched the channel and the daily reads before, we had a long spell where this was coming out every day. And this is that sense of being very generous and giving, but usually the way it ends up reading, at least for me personally, is it's almost like you're over giving yourself, like you're overextending yourself, like you're trying to compensate for, well, things aren't quite working out right, but maybe if I just give a little bit more, just a little bit more, things will be fine. We have our Knight of Swords energy, which is that impulsive, just go for it type of energy. And then we have our Six of Pentacles, which is also this energy of giving and charity. So in this case, there is legitimately this desire to help other people and this sense of charity. It's just there's also a sense of, are you over giving to a situation? Do you need to be a little bit more deliberate about where you're putting all of your resources and all of your energy? Do you need to scale that back a little bit? But overall, so here's the four for the whole collective, and then we'll go sign grouping by sign grouping to see how this applies to each grouping individually. So let's jump in. Oh, not with that one. Today, let us start with our fire signs and see what messages want to come through for you. That will be for Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And let's see. The World. So that is the completion of a cycle. This is card number 21 in the Major Arcana. So that is the very end of the Major Arcana. And the idea with that is the Major Arcana kind of follows certain life cycles, life patterns, life lessons that you're supposed to learn. And this is that sense of, okay, you completed that cycle. You passed that test. So it's favorable judgment because something is ending. And, the interesting thing, I was looking at this as I was shuffling. So look at this Death card. So this is all, the examples here, mainly it's food. So there's, for one, there's this moldy food. It's like there's moldy cheese, moldy tomato, moldy lettuce. And then on the other side of it over here by my thumb, there's a timer. And so it's almost kind of like this sense of, time's up. Like something has got to end. And even with this food, it's that idea of, if you leave something long enough, it's gonna go bad. And everything has a shelf life, and sometimes it's just time and needing to let go of something. So that goes along with this World card. So let's see what other messages want to come through from the Oracle cards. All right. Ganesha, clearing away obstacles, protection and guidance. So some of this is, what obstacles do you need to clear in order to be able to move forwards? Because there is this Knight of Swords energy is this kind of, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do this. So that's the energy that's wanting to come in as well. And actually, let's pull a timing card, because with that Death the World card and that, yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what is coming through timing-wise of when this cycle is coming to an end for our fire signs. Winter. So it looks like, it may take a while for that cycle to fully wrap up, but the energy is here now of let's do it, let's go for it, let's, get some of this started. Because sometimes if it is a major life lesson, it's not like you wake up and decide, hey, today I'm going to do this, and everything's all magically in place. But the intention has to be set in your mind first before it's going to work out in the 3D for you. All right, Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. And this is kind of going with this Four of Pentacles in reverse, that feeling of, you're overly giving, like you keep giving and giving and giving to a certain situation that, yes, it deserves, so this is going to be the balance point. Yes, it deserves charity, what it deserves to be treated with, reverence is probably too strong of a word, but it should be on the receiving end of some of your giving, but you have to balance it out with, okay, at what point is it just being too much? Oh, there's a couple cards that flipped, and I will pull one as well, and then we'll read the flipped cards too. Okay, so the pulled one is look for beauty in the rain. So that is that reminder of, things might seem bad, but what is the silver lining? What is the beautiful part of it? And sometimes, like even with the death card, there's a beauty in the transformation that happens. So the two cards that jumped, it was lessons will repeat until you learn, and sit in the stillness and a new path will emerge. So those, especially the sit in the stillness and a new path will emerge. If you feel like, you've had a lesson, and the interesting thing, so with the World card and in this picture, it's spiraling. You can see the image is spiraling. So it's kind of like you just keep going round and round and round until you've learned the lesson. And so you could have been getting sucked in because you don't know what the path out is. So if you just sit in the stillness and look for the beauty around you, be open to how it's coming through, that this is your path out. And this is that reminder, the lessons will repeat until you learn. And that is the whole thing of you can't avoid learning the lessons. It's not like, well, if I drag my feet for long enough, then I won't have to do anything about it. No, the lesson's just going to present itself in a different way. And, lessons will get louder and louder and more impactful the longer you wait. So think of it this way. Like if you're starting to get a little bit of a leak, and it's like, oh, there's a little bit of a leak. Well, if I pretend that it's not really there and just kind of, go in the other room, it's not like it's going to make it get better. You may be able to patch it for a little while. You may be able to, patch your roof or whatever. But at some point, you have to tear the whole thing off and put a new one on. And so if you're in denial that you need to do that, the problems are going to keep getting bigger and bigger and more expensive, So at some point you just have to suck it up and face what the lesson is that you need to learn. All right, next is our earth signs, and that is going to be our Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's see what we've got for you. Judgment. So judgment coming in. This is, card number 20 in the major arcana. Fire signs had 21, which is the end of it. So this is like the final exam. It's the universe is looking at it. Are you learning your lessons? Did you learn and integrate what you're supposed to be integrating to be able to level up? So one of the examples that I like, that it's another speaker that I listen to, is talking about like as you're building this ascension path, you do have to keep building like one step on top of the other. So the initial lessons that you learn are necessary to be able to put that next step on top of it. So you can't just skip over the steps. Otherwise your whole staircase is going to fall down. Like you can't just have a step here, a step there, a step there, like you need to be building it layer upon layer. So it's kind of like you can't progress to the next level until you pass this. So there's with the energetic push for judgment, it's really that energy of, okay, have you learned it? Are you going to let this change come in? Or like, if the change is energetically pushing, are you going to let it come in? Or for some of you, if this is not loud enough on its own, will you be the one to usher that in? Will you be the one to assertively say, I want to make this change in my life? Not, oh, I guess I'm just going to sit here and wait for somebody else to make the change, or wait for the job to change, or wait for this to change. Like, are you going to stand up and say, okay, it's time for something to change? All right, purification, fire, bare essentials, the naked truth, and wholeness. So this is that card of, and it goes with death. This purification card is going with the death card, and it's in this case, it's death by fire. It's, you know, so this could be a lesson related to a fire sign that you're connected with, but it's the idea of, you know, kind of burn it all to the ground. You know, the phoenix burns up and then rises from the ashes, and it's kind of that sort of visual that you have to purify by fire. From that one jumped. It's Isolde, undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. And then we have sensitivity. You are becoming increasingly sensitive. Avoid harsh relationships, environments, situations, and chemicals. So, so this is something that, you know, as you're looking at trying to piece together what it is that you need to do, there is an undying love. There's a connection that, and that was your jumper card to consider. And then the sensitivity, that you're becoming increasingly sensitive to different things. So this is a matter of, that's part of the purification too, is how do you let your soul sit in a more pure space? Like, don't use and abuse your body and therefore your soul. So how do you really step into that undying love, like higher vibration? Say no to people and things that stress you out. So, and this is part of that judgment. I mean, when you look at those reds and just go for it. So it's a matter of breaking free from things that are not serving you, breaking free from things that are causing you, like, every time it comes up. If there's certain people in your life that every time you're interacting with them, it's stressful, then, you know, yes, you have this energy of wanting to give and wanting to be charitable towards that person, but don't keep giving of yourself to the point where it's like you're running yourself down because you think that you need to keep being generous and understanding and giving to somebody that's just stressing you out and not elevating your frequency and your vibration. All right, water signs. Let's take a look at what we have for Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Justice. So this is that card about finding that balance. So this action, this bold, yeah, let's just do it sort of action, is what you're needing to do to bring balance to a situation. So if you've been sitting here in this generous giving, the balance point to that is, all right, I'm going to do what I want to do. You know, I'm going to take care of me first now. And so that's not necessarily a bad thing. So if you've been all your life, if you've been a giver, that could feel bad. It could feel selfish to say, no, I'm going to do what I want to do. But the reality is you have to take care of yourself. You have to put your own mask on before you can help those around you. Liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. And this could be, this negative attachment might be whatever this situation is that keeps requiring or pushing on you to be generous. Just give more of your time, give more of yourself, give more of your energy, and liberating yourself from that will allow you to give more of yourself into situations that are refilling your bucket too, because your ability to take care of other people and be generous and be able to share your light with the world depends on how much energy do you have. And if you keep dumping all of it into this one specific scenario, person, experience that isn't giving you anything back, you don't have any of that light and energy to share with anybody else. or any other situations. Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. So it's interesting because there's Diana is in here, and then Artemis is also one of the cards, and they're kind of like the same figure. This is the hunter there. So Artemis's twin is Apollo. And so this could be a message. You could be dealing with a water sign, with a Gemini, like with an air sign, because Artemis and Apollo, they're the twins. So that would be Gemini. But keep focused on where it is that you want to go, and then liberate yourself from these other experiences that don't take you closer. Certainly let go of the ones that take you further away. And then if they're experiences or people that are neutral, they don't take you closer, but they don't take you further away, then just kind of figure out, is that a good experience that I want to have? And then don't confuse chemistry with compatibility. And so this would be a message if this is a person that you're dealing with. The oranges kind of go there. If this is a person, like a romantic situation, that you feel like you're just giving and giving and giving, don't confuse having good chemistry with the person as being compatible with them. And with that deep compatibility, that's, do your values align? And so if you're always giving and they're always taking, right there's a fundamental imbalance. That's a compatibility issue, because you're never going to be able to continually give and give and give if you're not getting anything back. So the chemistry might be great, but you need to look at the other factors too. And that's about that balance. Do your characteristics balance you out, or does it really feel like it's lopsided? So that's something for you to think about, and maybe do more journaling or meditating and contemplation about, is this the right balanced place for me, where I feel like I'm being appreciated, where I feel like I'm being supported. So all right, last but not least, we have our air signs, and that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Let's see what messages want to come through for you for today. Temperance. So this is also for people on the twin flame journey. That's Archangel Michael, and he's the keeper of the twins. And this is about balance. How do you find that balance? So if this is a twin that you're dealing with, there's something in this dynamic that needs to go, and it could be this, I'll call it this charitable overgiving energy. There could be, when you look at it, there could be an imbalance within your relationship, that one of you is giving more than the other. And I mean, all connections have kind of that pendulum type of thing, that it's not 50-50 every day type of thing, but there should be a natural balance. Some seasons of life, one partner gives more than the others, or than the other partner does, but the pendulum should swing back in the other direction. And if it doesn't, it just means it's an imbalanced relationship. So the Temperance card is imploring you to look at things from a balanced situation. Like, what is the fair, balanced, harmonious state? And are you there? If you're not, that's what this Death card is about. How do you end these lopsided cycles? And some of it's gonna feel like that rebellious, yeah, let's just do it, when you go about trying to make a change. All right, remembrance, resurfacing of past feelings and emotions. So this sometimes it can be resurfacing of past wounds, or it can be resurfacing of all the past warm and fuzzies. And with the Temperance card, it's about encouraging you or reminding you, don't live in the past. Yes, you can learn from the past. If you're having a short episode of, hey, things aren't feeling great, sometimes remembering the past in it, like the good times, can help you through it. But don't let yourself fall into a trap of living in the past and just reliving the hurt over and over if there's things that have been hurtful. And also don't let current cycles of hurt, frustration, or whatever get totally just glanced over because you're living in the past of, oh, wasn't that great when we first got together? So that's that temperance and balance, like finding what is that balance point. Don't let yourself get too high. Don't let yourself get too low. And then let's see, a butterfly, maiden, transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. So that is about, this death card, and how do you get that transformation? So some things, in order for you to ascend up the staircase, some things have to go or have to change, and then you can take your step up. All right, let's pull one of these cards. Thank you for the lesson. So with your transformation, and sometimes this can be a painful lesson. You may not like the lesson. It may not feel warm and fuzzy, but that is, again, that reminder of don't get too high, don't get too low. But the lessons are there to help you grow. They're there to help you ascend, and make sure that when you're doing your journaling, like your gratitude journaling, to be grateful for the universe, not just for the wonderful things that come in, but also for the experiences, for the lessons. Like maybe something hurt really bad, but the thank you to the universe can be, thank you for showing me that I'm stronger than I thought I was. Thank you for giving me the courage to stand up for myself, like those sorts of things. So make sure that you're showing gratitude for all of these experiences that are helping you to grow. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful, but as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. And as I mentioned, there will be some new readings posting over the next week, so make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted when those videos are released on the channel. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.